Well, here we go again for another one and another one, right? This is something I haven't included the word polarization, but I've talked about similar subjects. So I guess I'll kind of expand a little bit. This polarization of COVID, of, put on the shot, and as a lot of Republicans and others may say, put a diaper on your face, versus, the folks that'll say, well, hydrochloroquine or ivermectin and all this other business, take your horse shots, bro. It's all ridiculous. But the thing is, what we have to realize is that there is a polarization out there. There are those, though, I think it's based more on age and maybe race than it is about political party. Boomers are influenced by party, whether it's Democrat or Republican. And all the old folks, the old grandmas and grandpas who have time to watch all this bullshit and read some of this shit. Most ordinary people don't have that time. And when I say ordinary people, I'm talking about people below the age of 65. They don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? As the old meme goes, I got bronchitis. My point is this, is if you really want to look at polarization, all you have to do is look at, employment stats. And of course, I know what people are going to say. But people are offering so much money for jobs, this and that. Yeah, okay, they're increasing the base pay. All right. Will that be cut back later on? Probably so. Probably is. They're just desperate right now. The thing is that what we have to look at with 2020 is this. I'm going to try to be as good faith as I can. You can't blame Antifa for what happened. Antifa is not one organization, right? It's multiple. So you have Rose City Antifa, New York City Antifa, Las Vegas Antifa, yada, 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 right? And they're not that well coordinated. They really aren't. What I would say, though, is that there's a lot of individuals who gathered up and said, we're going to take advantage of what happened with George Floyd, and we're going to burn shit, and we're going to loot, and we're going to, we're going to do donuts with, with skitters. I can't think. What's the name of that? Basically, a skip loader. Yeah, a skip loader. I think that's what it is. I'm thinking right. Is that what that is? No? Okay. Loader. Okay. Backhoe. Okay. A skip loader. Hold on. Let me see. No, it's not a skip loader. There's a smaller vehicle. I can't think of the goddamn name of it. Okay, loader. Let's do that. Not that. Mini loader. How about that? Is that it? Maybe real boomer. Here we go. Where it's like, I'm not showing you what it is, but yeah, mini loader. That's not it either. Okay. Orange mini loader. Is that what you call it? Okay, well, I guess it is a loader, but yeah. Yeah, small white mini loader. Yeah. Okay, so it is called a mini loader. All right. I was looking at it, but yeah, doing donuts with a mini loader and stuff like that. There were so many stories. The one that pops out in my head. There's so many things you could talk about. I'm sure that somebody has already, or is going to write a book about the riots of 2020 throughout the country. Summer of Love, as some people have called it, where there was somebody attacking an AutoZone And they said, oh, that was a cop. It was definitely a police officer that did that. They're, agent provocateur. Not that many buildings were destroyed. I mean, they're just, it's a powerful image, though. When you see buildings on fire in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and when you see that Target getting looted, feel as you want to, but it creates that image. And you can call that propaganda all you want to, sure. But the thing is, though, the massive numbers of peaceful protests from BLM, like I say, BLM, I'll admit, BLM didn't even have much to do with these. It was individual people who just said, man, fuck this. We're going to form our own little groups. And that is what's going to occur if things continue the way they are. There's just going to be individuals at first. We're just going to be like, man, fuck this bullshit. I'm leaving. Or man, fuck this. I'm going to take what I want out of my job. It's like if they work at McDonald's, they're going to be stealing French fries. They're going to be stealing, the drinks and shit like that. Just be like, man, fuck this, nigga. Let's go loot some shit and let's, we're going to make some money, try to fence it or whatever. That to me is more the real future of things. That's my opinion. Anyway. You know what I mean? It's not some Antifa takeover. It's not going to be some Proud Boy takeover. Both these groups are irrelevant. It's not going to be some Democratic takeover. Because look, they, the Democratic and Republican Party are made up of what? Mostly made up of, mostly older white folks and some, younger folks mixed in there who are volunteers for the party. But it's a different type of thing where it's like the Communist Party or the Komsomol or whatever, where kids are involved. And yeah, Democratic Party and Republican Party do have, like young Republicans or young Democrats, on college campuses, but it's not like they pledge a loyalty. And they're not going to sit there and gain any support. I mean, it's the same thing with the DSA. These are social clubs at best, What's going to happen on the ground is gangs, established gangs, whether that be Crips or Bloods or whether it's, vice lords or whichever, are going to take over different neighborhoods. And you're going to have militias that protect buildings and this and that. And you're going to have, these various warlords who come up, they're going to be the piece of shit that rises to the top of the toilet, right? Of the bowl. And they're going to be the one. And so you're going to have, I'm preaching this idea about warlordism. Like Mad Max type of shit. I used to think to a point, and I know that this was wrong even then, but I stuck with it because I was stubborn, is that various political groups would take place and, would try to take over areas. I don't really believe that now. After seeing all the spurging online, I know that these groups don't have any real power. They don't. They just LARP in their bedrooms, kind of like what I'm doing right now. None of these groups have any power, and they just circle jerk each other and stay in their own little zones. In general, they just show the same bullshit clips that everybody does. It's like, let's show the same clip that the media use, that Vosh uses, that Destiny uses. Let's use those same clips. Oh, why not? Let's do that. And we're going to give our own mediocre commentary. That's it. It's a career. It's a business for them. It's not a political movement. And the same thing goes with TRS as well. It's a business, and it's edgy comedy, bro. That's all it is. It's edgy comedy. They're not going to do anything. NJP is not going to have any serious power. Wignats in general not going to have any power. I'm kind of on the same path. And like I say, maybe I admit that a lot of this stuff is repeated, but you're going to have folks who know about transportation, that know where the weigh-in points are, this and that, and know how, the schedules work for businesses, right? So if, they expect a truck coming at this time and that they typically have so and so who's the guy who drops it off or whatever. So they take advantage of that. And, these sorts of things, right? And so you're going to get this mafia payoff sort of stuff where it's like, hey, before you stop at Target, why don't we take some of this stuff off your hands, right? So they go to a weigh station. They come in to be like, hey, why don't you hold on there? I understand you got to get to your place of business, but let's take some stuff off the top, I see you got some baloney back here and whatnot. Why don't we take our fair share? And then we don't kill you. Right? This is mafia type stuff. I'm thinking, like I said, in my head, I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking of that scene with Joe Pesci in Goodfellas, right? Where they stick up a driver of a big rig. And, they have a snub nose in a paper bag, right? And then, of course, you see Joe Pesci, of course, waving that bag around with the gun in it. Bang, 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 right? And that's how they got their money. It was a cigarette game, right? That's one of the oldest hustles that there were, right? Where, you would get the cigarettes, you would take off the tax label. So government doesn't get shit. Any profit that you get from those cigarettes, it goes to the big boys, right? It's one of the simpler hustles out there, I mean, nowadays, I imagine, you'd be sticking up, like in California for the legal stuff, I imagine homie's gonna, stick up the folks that have the legal spot. You're like, oh, they got a shipment of of Maui Wowie coming in. We're gonna stop them. Be like, yo, this is stick up, right? So you can tell your boss, they go for protection, that sort of thing. To me, that's the future. That's a more realistic future. If things get bad, I think that this system will kind of continue on. And generally speaking, everybody wants to get along to get along. The internet is a pressure valve, and it's a way for people to let off steam. Of course, increasingly, it's becoming a place where feds are watching, so that any edgy thing that you say, like I'm doing right now, or anything you type out, and they trace you, and if they think it's decidedly edgy and you could possibly do it, you're going to go to jail. But it's a release valve. It's like people who are online see people polarized because you see the hatred. But you don't see it every day because, generally speaking, people want to keep their jobs. They still have rent to pay. They still have car payments. They still have car repairs, such as me right now. They still have college loans, once again, like me. They have a lot of shit that they're paying for. Maybe it's child support, which luckily is not me. They got shit to pay for. So why are they going to lose their job over a political opinion? Unless they're really good at grifting and, putting an American flag behind you, and, if you're a girl, then, showing your boobs and saying, I'm a Republican, and you go on like, become a TikToker or something like that, and you're going to get interviewed by, I don't know, Lauren Southern, I guess. I don't know. Or if you're some good looking dude or something and you put on a hat or something like that and you say, the Democrats are the real racists and shit like that, right? It's just, I don't know, man. But I don't think things are as polarized as people think they are. And yes. Who? Oh, that's good. Anyway. I don't think politics really play into it. They play into it maybe in Portland, and even then, very, very minimally. Maybe in Washington, D.C., but it's all kind of vague, sort of anti-government stuff, or vaguely left-wing, or vaguely right-wing, or whichever, right? But in general, there's no specific group out there, in my opinion, not on a national level. I mean, you can go ahead and talk about the DSA, but it's like, do you really think the DSA is gonna? No. People are too secure in what is going on. They're as long as they still have their TikTok videos they can watch, or if they can watch, I don't know, American Idol. People don't even watch anymore. Sorry, I went too boomer there. Or they watch their football, or watch maybe their soccer. I laugh at that, but European football, or the Olympics, or whichever. Then why would they want to rebel? If they still can go to Golden Chick, or if they can go to McDonald's or wherever, and they can have their meal, or if they can have their little microwave meal, then why would they want to rebel? I mean, there's always the old saying of, between three meals, there's revolution, right? Or I'm basically saying that wrong, but yeah, if people don't get their 3 meals, then there's going to be revolution. I think that's a matter of opinion, because you have to have some sort of organization, and they can't just be, random folks. I mean, if you really want to go there, it's like they restrict rations on food, Nazi Germany, Soviet Union, China. There weren't rebellions in those countries. And I know people are going to say, oh, but what about von Stauffenberg? And, yeah, but that wasn't successful, though. And even then, it would have been just some sort of conservative LARP. And they would have still got blown the fuck out. And the Allies would have still killed them. So it doesn't matter. But they see them, modern Germany sees them as heroes, and sees Stauffenberg and all those folks as heroes, because they're better than the alternative, I guess. The same thing with, like Red Orchestra. I guess they'd say, well, we don't like Gomis, but at least they, fought Nazi Germany. They fought Hitler. So, So, yeah, I personally don't really believe in a phrase like that. Maybe that's ignorant, but that's where my mindset is. I'm going to try something new here. I got a laundry basket in front of it just to see how it sounds. I don't know. And of course, people could, I mean, is there any real resistance in China? No. Because they have everything controlled. And they isolate people, I'm sure, this and that. And, I mean, there may be some loose Maoists out there who feel like, Xi Jinping and the CPC is revisionist, but I think in general, people support it because guess what? There's a better standard of living than there was, and even though there's this scandalous going on in this company, what the fuck was it called? Hold on. Let me see here. Let me see the scandal here. Oh yeah, China's Evergrande Group, this company that fell out because basically they ran out of liquidity, I believe. There were other issues, I'm sure, but I can't remember finance, and I'm too retarded. But basically, they funded it 2 different ways, where people would put money in, and they would hold some of it back, and they got money from other places. But now, basically, that company has collapsed, and they're comparing it to the Lehman Brothers, and it's a mess. But yeah, like I say, this could be the part of a larger issue, but I don't know. I still don't call myself a China boo. Anyway, I wanted to fit that in somewhere about the Chinese Evergrande Group that fell apart. But yeah. Anywho, I think that's all I have to say on those issues. Basically, till dear, now 20 minutes in. I don't think the U.S. is as polarized on the ground as people make it out to be. I really don't. People still have to work. People still have to deal with family. As much as people will say, I don't deal with my dad because he's a boomer Republican who likes Trump.
You come in here?
No, I didn't see him. I don't see him. But at the end of the day, you still have to deal with people. So there's a lot of LARP out there. Anyway, got other stuff going on. So let's go ahead and just finish it up here. So see you later. Goodbye.